Okay, so I'm up to my winter herd strength here. There's my one purebred Scottish Highland who I've described has got one horn. Somebody mangled her and her feet look terrible and all of that, although they've already started to improve dramatically just since I owned her. I'm waiting for the farrier and the vet to come and work on trying to get her fixed up a little bit more, but I'm hoping she's happier now than she was. And then we've got this beautiful, lovely Highland Angus cross. She's a bottle-fed calf, and she is such a sweetheart. I just really, really like this heifer. She is beautiful. She's supposedly bred back to a purebred Scottish Highland. And then we've got Mama and her baby there. She's Angus with a quarter Limousin, and I'm not quite sure what she is, but she's still pretty aloof with me. She comes from a big ranch up north and not real used to being touched by humans or anything. And of course there's my bull, and then we've got the purebred Scottish Highland cow, who's now definitely lead cow. And then we've got this little heifer who's supposedly half Angus, half Jersey, although I don't buy it based on the horns and the coloring, but I could be wrong. And then we got Penny here, half Angus, half Highland. And we've got my Yak Red Angus cross calf. But I'm really excited about this little heifer. She just joined my herd this afternoon. She's a Chillicothe Island animal. And what they are is they're a bunch of cows that have basically been running wild for the last 150, 200 years, something like that. They're a little mix of everything. They definitely got some Highland in them, probably some Hereford, God knows what else. Super hardy, super cold animal. Real small though. She's 2 years old. You can see she's real small. She's smaller even than my bull. But I was really excited to get her. I was supposed to get a steer for some winter meat, and they ended up having a heifer instead, which I gladly took because I want to introduce the genetic diversity to the herd. Just a very, very hardy Alaska animal right here. Survived all that time on the island and survived everything that could be thrown at them, and they still managed to thrive, and in fact I think overpopulate the place a little bit. So I'm glad to have her, and I'm going to breed her back to Forrest, who's been following her around religiously now. She's a little bit late for calving. I wish I'd got her and bred her in July instead of late August. So I'll probably let her have a calf, and hopefully we can get that up to speed, and then I'll have to separate the two of them so I'm not giving perpetual late calves by her. But that's the new addition. So that's 11 animals here. So I went from 0 a few months ago to 11 today, and there's my winter herd, and I feel pretty good about it. There's a good genetic mix here. I'm really happy with these animals. Hey, sweetie, she is such a beautiful animal. I really enjoy this heifer. And I got my Scottish Highland. I got 3 purebreds and a whole bunch of Highland mixed with other things, and I'm just going to see what does well here in Alaska. And I've got some ideas on feeding and some other things that I'm going to experiment with, partly because I want to experiment and partly because there's just not that much information. Certainly people feed cattle in cold places, but not like Alaska. I mean, certainly people do it, but I am not seeing the information that I see in other places is what I mean. You know, like Montana or Minnesota or something. There's just a little bit less information available to newbies like me. So I'm gonna have to experiment with some things. But anyways, there it is. There's my winter herd. And I should get 6 or 7 or 8 calves in the spring out of this group. And we'll see how this winter goes. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna start sawmilling in earnest tomorrow to get a barn built right over there, a 24 by 48 loafing shed for these gals and Forrest, so that they don't have to be in the worst of the weather. And I really need to get going on that because it's coming soon. So there you are.